Everyone, Dan Saavedra here from mergerdata.com, and today we're going to go over how you can assign a contact owner based off of a meeting that was scheduled with a person on your team. So what I mean by this is if someone schedules a round robin or a direct meeting with one of your team members, we want that contact to be reassigned to the person that they're having the meeting with. So in this tutorial, I'm just going to walk you through how you can do that natively in HubSpot. Some newer features that HubSpot introduced has allowed us to finally build this natively rather than using an external solution. So I'm just going to walk you step by step through that. And to set things up, I have this round robin test here. I've already scheduled a round robin meeting with a test contact. And you can see here we have this form submission. And we can see that it was for the round robin link here. And we have this test contact. And so what we're going to do is we're going to open up a workflow here. And then what we're going to do is we are going to create a workflow from scratch. It's going to be a contact-based workflow, and we're going to start with a blank workflow here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up the enrollment triggers as a form submission. So we're going to select when filter criteria is met, add filter, and then we're going to scroll down to form submissions and select that. And you can see here we have our various meetings links and then also our regular forms for our demo instance here. And so I'm going to select the round robin test form. So we have this contact has filled out form as a criteria. I'm going to close the editor here, and then I'm going to go back to re-enrollment and select on for re-enrollment because we want this to run anytime that this round robin is filled out. So I'm going to click save, and now we have this contact enrollment trigger for the form submission. Now, the trick here is to add in a copy property value because we're going to be copying the team member that's on the meeting to the contact owner of the property. And the biggest thing to note here is that you're going to want to edit available data because we don't have the data that we need in any of these objects here, the standard objects in HubSpot. So we're going to have to edit available data, add data source, and then we're going to scroll down, and you can either search this too if it's faster for you. You can pick meeting. So we click on meeting. And then we have to pick which related meeting to the contact record that we want to update. And so we go to this refine which meeting records to access drop down, and the only option is by activity, which is what we want. And then we do select the record based on, and then we have several options. 1 being most recently updated, 2 being most recently created, and then 3 being first created. And since this is triggering off of a form submission, what we want to do is we want to use the most recently updated. Now, one thing to note is that if you have any other activities that are being logged that are in relation to this form submission, then you might have to add in delays to other workflows in order to wait for this workflow to complete. But for us, it's a really simple setup. We're just going to assume that the most recently logged activity is the form submission, since that's what is triggering the workflow. So I'm going to click add here to add that data source. And so now this will surface a bunch of other fields or a bunch of other properties here that we can use. And so what we're going to do is we're going to select property or value to copy from. And then what we're going to search for is activity assigned to. And when we do that, that's going to take the person that the meeting was scheduled with and pull that user value into the property that we want to copy it to. And for that, that's just going to be contact owner. And the beautiful thing about this is you can use this setup to also copy that value to other places as well. So let's say you don't want to assign it to a contact owner, but you want to capture it in a field for a setter, or in a property for a setter, or in a property for a closer or an account manager, anything of that sort. You can do that by using the same setup and then changing the form that's the trigger or branching out based off of the form that is submitted. So there's a lot of options here and a lot of ways that you can extend the use case that we're building out. So I'm just going to click on save. And so if we run the test contact through here, then we can do a test. We can search for test, and then click on test to see exactly how this would work. So we can see that it meets the enrollment trigger and would enroll in the workflow. And then we can see that we would copy the value activity assigned to from the meeting and copy it to the contact owner. So it works as expected. So once again, this will take a round robin or another meeting, and when someone books that meeting, we will be able to assign the person that the meeting is scheduled with as the contact owner or any other user field or user property that you set up. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. I'm Dan Saavedra, the founder of mergerdata.com. Thanks for watching.